guys, and welcome to this month's preview show. This is kicking off 2023 with a brand new monthly preview show. Going to be going through the previews books, DC, Marvel, indie stuff. Just trying to pick out the best stuff coming out a few months down the line, just so you guys don't miss out. Get those pre-orders in early, guaranteed first prints, guaranteed cover price, cover A's, and everything else. So, I mean, if this is your first time joining us with regards to the previews, comics is a very interesting industry and how it works. It works as predominantly on a pre-ordering system. So what happens is we get sent out these previews catalogs a few months in advance. So for example, these are the January previews books, which are for release in March and sometimes beyond. They'll do advanced solicits for things. So we basically, as a comic store, I always feel we have a responsibility to get the information out to you guys so that you can see what's coming next. Obviously, you've got your own resources, you can do your own online searches, etc., etc. But I think any good comic store should always keep you up to date with these things as best as they can. So what we always do is we have the previews books at the counter. You're more than welcome to come in, grab a coffee, grab a Coke, whatever. Don't grab anything, but take a sit down, grab the previews books, have a look through them. They are store copies only, they're not to be taken away. But come in, have a look through them. We've got sheets downstairs. You can write down titles that you're interested in, whether it's just the number one you're interested in, and then you'll see how you get on, whether you want to commit to a series, that sort of thing. So we have those downstairs. We do our best to do a previews podcast every month, just in case you prefer listening to me instead of looking at me. We're going to be doing this YouTube show every month now. And then the last thing is we do the boards in store, which I'm recording this on the Saturday. I'm going to do the boards throughout today. So been a bit of a busy one in the last week or two with delayed deliveries and birthday celebrations and so on and so forth. So, as I say, my plan is to go through the books one at a time, pick out the stuff I'm most looking forward to, or the stuff that I think will be good for you guys, or maybe a jumping on point, that kind of thing as well. So, as I say, the books are separated into three. You've got a DC book, which is also available for free online. Just search DC Connect, CONNECT. You've got the Marvel Previews book. The best place to find the information from this book online is through Newsarama. They do a monthly solicitations breakdown. And then we have the previews book, which goes through Image, Boom, Dark Horse, IDW. You sort of normally need multiple sources online to find those. They'll be broken down again by publisher. But again, it's easy to find. Just Google January solicitations, Image Comics. You'll find articles online. Or just watch this show and you'll be fine. So, kicking things off. First of all, I should say I'm recording this on the Saturday. The previews order cutoff is next Saturday, but because it's 2 months in advance, we always get a chance to do top-ups a month in advance as well. We are 100% guaranteed. So in that scenario, if you're a little late to the party with giving me the pre-orders, whatever, it's not a problem. We can always up our orders later. This is just what's called the initial order. So kick things off with the DC Connect. And with DC, there's a big focus on what's called the Dawn of DC. So basically, DC are embarking on what they call a year-long storytelling event. Following the events of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths and DC Universe Lazarus Planet, the world's superheroes have emerged from the biggest, most devastating battles of their lives and are reinvigorated in their fights against evil. So what they've basically said here, well, Jim Lee's quoted as saying, after the near multiverse-ending events in Dark Crisis, the DC Universe will be heading toward the light. With brand new stories and series and story arcs from some of the top creative members in comics, Dawn of DC is one of our most ambitious initiatives ever. So you can see here they're really going ahead of time with regards to solicitations. No dates, but Dawn of DC includes Action Comics 1051. That's a brand new kickoff for Superman. You've got Superman #1 in February. You've got Adventures of Superman Jonathan Kent in March, which I'll talk about a bit more in this. Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn is a jumping on point. April, you've got Green Arrow coming back, which is something a lot of guys are excited about. You've got a new Superboy, Man of Tomorrow title. In May, you're going to be looking at Batman Brave and the Bold. You're going to be looking at a Cyborg series. And then they've even went as far as June to say a Shazam series, Penguin series, and Steelworks as well. So you've got this lovely little forging the future one here at a time, Dawn of DC. Almost like a map of the year. And you get the feeling things will be illuminated further along the way throughout the year. So it's going to be worth keeping an eye on that. But one of those titles is Adventures of Superman Jonathan Kent. So we recently had Superman Son of Kalel from Tom Taylor, and mostly John Timms on art, although there was Keon Tormey on art as well. And it was 18 issues in the end, but now the Clark's back on Earth, they've retaken Superman title for Clark. So they've set up this 6-issue miniseries, Adventures of Superman Jonathan Kent. Delighted to say Tom Taylor is going to be continuing, and the artist in this is going to be Clayton Henry. So this is a perfect jumping on point for Jonathan Kent. Even if you didn't read Superman Son of Kalel, Tom Taylor is always one of the most approachable writers when it comes to, you know, simplifying where everything stands and kicking off a really good story. So another Superman has fallen. Across the multiverse, Kal-Els are being murdered. Val-Zod, the Superman of Earth 2, believes only one man can stop the killing, Kal-El's son, John Kent. John will have to step across dimensions and face the killer of the Kal-Els, the monstrous Ultraman, the man who kidnapped and tortured him for years. And Val-Zod is not acting alone in trying to save the Superman. Who is the mysterious woman alongside him, and what is her shocking connection to the Super family? So that's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, as I say. There's a bunch of variant covers. There's one or two nice ones, but forget about that. They do way too many variant covers for these launches. And I say that as a Batman fan, and they usually do a million ones for him as well. So continuing through the book, you've got Superman issue 2, you've got Action Comics 1053. Again, if you want to jump onto these titles, Superman #1 is due in February. Action Comics 1051 kicks off this month, and that's your perfect starting point for Supes. There is another Superman title as well, it looks good, called Superman Lost. This is going to be a 10-issue sort of maxi series from Christopher Priest. Art and cover by Carlo Pagulayan and Jason Paz. So Superman's Odyssey of Solitude. After Superman is called away on a routine Justice League mission, Lois Lane awakens to find a complete stranger standing in her living room. The Man of Steel, home much sooner than expected, reveals he has in fact been lost in space for 20 years. Nothing and no one seem familiar to him anymore, and the timeless bond between them has been severed, or has it? Can love conquer all? Superman's 85th anniversary celebration continues with this all-new blockbuster 10-issue series from the creators of the Eisner-nominated Deathstroke series. So, big emphasis on Superman on the other side of Lazarus Planet here. Speaking of Lazarus Planet, we've got 4-issue miniseries, Lazarus Planet Revenge of the Gods. So that's going to be a 4-issuer. It's going to be written by G. Willow Wilson. You have Kian Tormey on art, and a couple of other guest artists as well. So they're going to be 40 pagers each time. After the events of Lazarus Planet, the gods of the multiverse have decided to take down the heroes they once called champions, and the world they've sworn to protect. For years, the gods sat idle atop the mountains as their legends faded into obscurity along with their bodies. Now is their time to remind the selfish mortals of their existence and take back the world. So only the brave heroes, Wonder Woman and Shazam, stand in their way, but will their combined powers be enough? So we Shazam, Wonder Woman team-up title there. We're continuing on with the Batman One Bad Day series, which is... The release dates have started getting a bit screw-whiffle on this because we should have had Batman One Bad Day Catwoman already. But next week, the invoice already says Batman One Bad Day Bane. So we get it before. I mean, they're not in any specific order, so it's not a massive deal, but I just know some guys are waiting on the Catwoman one. So yeah, Batman One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul for this one, and then look at that team. Tom Taylor writing, Ivan Rice on art. So yes, please. So with this one again, you can pick up the One Bad Day series just if you like the characters, just if you like the creative teams. There will be hardcovers down the line. But I mean, I've been picking them all up. I think they've been great so far. So why won't Batman save the world? For centuries, Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, depending on how you want to pronounce it, has wanted to save the Earth from the worst of humankind, and for centuries he has failed. Recently, his greatest obstacle has been the Dark Knight detective. Ra's offered Batman a chance to be a part of his new world order, and Batman refused. For years, their Cold War has raged, but Ra's will have no more. He will remove Batman from the equation and save the world, recreating it in his image and bringing peace and prosperity to all good-hearted souls that the Earth deserves. Don't miss this epic tragedy from the all-star creative team of Tom Taylor and Ivan Rice, the last of the One Bad Day specials, and the most epic to date. So, yeah, those have been fantastic so far. For me, the Mr. Freeze one has been the best. So you're continuing on with Batman. You've got Chip Zdarsky continuing with that. You've got Detective Comics 1070 with a little star on it saying new characters alert for all you speculators out there. Multiversity, Harley screws up the DCU. This looks kind of fun. This is written by Frank Thierry and art by Logan Afarbier. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries. Harley's back in Coney for a long overdue reunion with old friends, old haunts, and an old time machine. You heard right, a mysterious benefactor has left Harley a time machine, and after giving it about half a second of thought, of course, she decides to take it for a joyride. What could go wrong, right? Funny you should ask, turns out a quick trip through time can screw up a few things, namely the entire DC multiverse, so could be cool. You've got Harley Quinn 28, so again, we're all about recommending jumping on points for characters as well. So although it's issue 28, this is a brand new creative team taking over on Harley Quinn. It's actually coming from the writer of the current Catwoman series, which I've been really enjoying, Tini Howard. Art and cover by Sweeney Boo. So again, if you're looking at Harley jumping on point, this is it as part of the Dawn of DC stuff. So Harley Quinn 28, that's your jumping on point. Cool new series as well coming up is a 6-issue mini-series, Unstoppable Doom Patrol. This is written by Dennis Culver, who recently did stuff on Future State Gotham. Art and cover by Chris Burnham. Love me some Chris Burnham art. Get on board with that. The world's strangest heroes are back in the DC universe after the events of Lazarus Planet. More people than ever have active metagenes. Most of these new metahumans have become misfits, shunned and imprisoned by a fearful society. They are hidden away in the dark, lost to a system that only sees them as weapons or guinea pigs. Ticking time bombs that can only be defused by the unstoppable Doom Patrol. Robot Man, Elasti-Woman, and Negative Man are joined by their brand new teammates Beast Girl and Degenerate, and led by Crazy Jane's mysterious new alter, the Chief, on a mission of saving the world from monsters. So yeah, I love me some Doom Patrol stuff, so that sounds good. You continue on here, you just start to see the continuation of series such as Flash, Swamp Thing, Green Hell. Great to see that coming back. Issue 2 is due in February. I mean, it's only been a year and a half. I was telling you about the hardcovers. This is a pretty cool thing, and this is going to be exclusive to comic stores. Now, it is a bit pricey because I have to say you've had a 64-page one-shot that was $8, and they're doing hardcovers now, which are going to be $18, so about £16. Basically double the price for a hardcover, but as far as I know, there's not a lot of extra content. But the thing that's a direct market exclusive is this box set here. So they're going to be releasing them one at a time, and this is called the One Bad Day box set. It also includes The Killing Joke, brand new printing and put under this banner of One Bad Day, sort of where the whole idea came from. And again, those will only be available in comic stores. So some cool graphics as well. You got Jurassic League from Juan Gideon and Daniel Warren Johnson. You've got a new Absolute of a fantastic Superman story. Absolute Superman for All Seasons from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. So you knew that was going to be good. You've got some all ages stuff. And again, just the back of the DC book tends to be the continuation of series. So Catwoman, Danger Street, Dark Knights of Steel will be coming to an end. Last issue of Gotham City Year 1. A few other bits and pieces. And then just a couple of graphics at the back. And, you know, Superman, Son of Kalel's hit trade paperback. New volumes of Catwoman. Phantom Stranger Omnibus, which looks pretty cool. 1,200 pages there. So, yeah, pretty strong DC book in general. And it's good to see them focusing on jumping on points for people and this whole new Dawn of DC event. So we move from DC and on to Marvel. The Marvel book's always a chunkier one. Marvel will always take full pages to show off continuing titles and so forth. You'll see with the DC Connect book that they'll put sort of 4 titles on one page. But with Marvel, it's always a chunkier book. But it's usually roughly around the same amount of titles. So you see there, nice and front and centre, Doctor Strange, a brand new relaunch for that. Beautiful Alex Ross covers, Jed McKay writing, Pascal Ferry on art. So it's no surprise that is the first thing in the Marvel Previews book. So a lot of people are going to look forward to this. Stephen Strange is back, reunited with Clea Wong. It's back to business as usual for the Sorcerer Supreme. Have your children fallen into a deep nightmare slumber? Are demonic refugees invading your home? Is your husband possessed by a satanic entity? Then call Doctor Strange. So yeah, Jed McKay, big fan. Pascal Ferry on art. Did such a great job in Spider-Man Spider's Shadow recently, for example. You're continuing on with the X stuff here. Nightcrawler, Storm, and the Brotherhood of Mutants. You've got Immoral X-Men. You've got a brand new X-23 series. So I know Vicky will be interested in this, one of her favourite characters. They're doing a facsimile, first of all, of X-23 number 1. But they've got a brand new 5-issue miniseries called X-23 Deadly Regenesis. This is written by Erica Schultz and Edgar Salazar on art. So Laura Kinney was cloned from Logan and trained by the facility to be a deadly assassin. Even as she tries to put that life behind her, forces will try to drag her back and she'll fight tooth and claw. So brand new, all new story, 5 issues there. You got Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones. Again, a 5-issue miniseries written by Emily Kim, art by Kei Zama. So continuing on with the Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider character. You've got another volume of Venom Lethal Protector coming out. Helpfully titled Venom Lethal Protector 2. Brand new 5-issue miniseries written by David Michelini, art by Fareed Karimi. Brock vs. Doom. Enough said. Venom co-creator David Michelini returns with a brand new story set in the sinister symbiote's past when Brains and Spider-Man were still on the menu. This time he's united with rising star Farhad Karimi to weave an epic blockbuster story that will take Venom from the streets of New York to the kingdom of Latveria as Eddie Brock is challenged like never before. What or who will Venom need to overcome the fiercest foe in the Marvel U? One thing's for certain, this monster's bringing the mayhem. So, nice 5-issue miniseries there. We've got a return for Cosmic Ghost Rider, of course, a creation of Donny Cates. But this one's being written by Stephanie Phillips, big fan. Juan Cabal on art, also a big fan. So again, this is, it looks like it's going to be an ongoing. Doesn't say 1 of 5 or anything like that. But Vengeance Reawakened. In the far-flung corner of deep space, Frank Castle has eked out a quiet existence. His days as Cosmic Ghost Rider finally behind him. But across the universe, a vicious bounty hunter is leaving a trail of bodies in his wake, and his name is Cosmic Ghost Rider. When Frank's peaceful existence is shattered, he must suit up once more and face his most savage enemy yet, himself. We've got a brand new Hellcat series written by Christopher Cantwell. Again, there's going to be 5 issues. Alex Lynn's on art for that. You've got a spin-off from Spider-Man with Hallows Eve. Again, a 5-issue miniseries. Erica Schultz writing again, but Michael Dowling on art for this. So obviously a breakout character from Amazing Spidey. Continuing on with Amazing Spider-Man. So the Marvel book from there predominantly then settles into the continuation of titles. You know, things like Avengers here, not really jumping on points. This is part 8 and part 9 of Jason Aaron's final run. There is a new Iron Man series starting. Why we need another one's beyond me, but anyway. I Am Iron Man number 1 of 5. Mariah Iodale and Dotkin Candy on art. But yeah, 5-issue miniseries. Looks very promising, actually, art-wise. Beneath the red and gold armor is a hopeless romantic, a genius inventor, a war hero, a billionaire, an avenger, a person. Tony Stark. So, a journey through the rich history of Iron Man, telling stories never seen before that are set in iconic eras of old Shellhead. No better way to celebrate Iron Man's 60th anniversary than getting to watch him be Earth's mightiest hero who we love so much. Well, some people love him. You've got a facsimile here, which is introducing Wonder Man. That's Avengers number 9. Facsimiles always tend to be popular in store. Got another Women of Marvel one-shot coming. Melissa Flores is going to be writing on that, who of course is doing a great job with Dead Lucky through Image Comics. I've no doubt this will be a popular one. Rogue and Gambit, 1 of 5. Stephanie Phillips writing. Carlos Gomez on art. Krakoa is on a precipice. Destiny alone can see what's coming, but the precog cannot act for that. She'll need her adoptive daughter, Rogue. Husbands need not apply, but with mutant duties stealing Rogue away so much these days, Gambit is determined to make the most of mission and put some Cajun spice back into their increasingly complicated love affair. He just has to make it out of the bar first. Powerhouse writer Stephanie Phillips joins fan favourite artist Carlos Gomez for a thrill ride that'll lay bare some of Krakoa's biggest secrets. So, we move through from there. We have a couple of one-shots caught under the banner of Unforgiven. Spider-Man Unforgiven and X-Men Unforgiven. Both written by Tim Seeley. Both with art by Sid Kotian. So I presume these will mix up a little bit. Looks slightly horror-based as well. Predator is getting a brand new number 1 again. So again, it'll be a jumping on point there. Ed Brisson continuing to write, which is good, because the stuff he's done so far has been very, very good. And Netho Diaz on art. But yeah, we move through there, and it's mostly just a continuation of stories. Continuing on with Miles Morales, Venom, Carnage, Miracle Man, Captain Marvel, X-Men, all kinds of good stuff that is already continuing. As I say, the Marvel book always looks absolutely massive. We go through Star Wars Corner, we go into the Omnibus section. A very popular Omnibus already with regards to pre-orders is Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's an advanced solicit now until July 2023. But you've got Dan Slott involved with that, Mark Waid, Matt Fraction, a lot of big guys on that. And yeah, just lots of other good graphic novels and collections coming out and so forth as well. So, but again, these are always in stores, so come in, have a wee flick through it. If I went through the entire Marvel book, we'd be here for the next hour. But we're going to finish off with the indie book, and I've already helpfully tabbed it with some official Coffee and Heroes bookmarks. So, the book is always started by Image Comics, and that's hardly surprising because they're easily the biggest independent company of the big two. And they've always got the best creators working on some really cool stuff. So, first up, you've got The Ambassadors, brand new number 1 of 6 from Mark Millar. Different artists with every issue, which is pretty cool. The most ambitious comic book of all time is finally here. Imagine you could gift superheroes to 6 people. In a world of 8 billion, who do you choose? Join 6 of the greatest artists in history for an enormous story about ordinary people from around the world explaining why it should be them. The first story features artwork by superstar Frank Quitely. So yeah, you'll have a different artist each time. My biggest one to look forward to, and this is probably my biggest recommendation across all 3 books, is Night Fever hardcover. So a brand new Ed Brubaker and Phillips Boys joint. Phillips Boys, I mean Sean Phillips on art and his son Jacob Phillips on colours. They're stepping away from the Reckless books to do a whole new, brand new hardcover, 120 pages. A gripping new original novel from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, the best-selling creators of Pulp, Reckless, Criminal and Killer Be Killed. Who are you really? Are you the things you do, or are you the person inside your mind? In Europe on a business trip, Jonathan Webb can't sleep. Instead, he finds himself wandering the night in a strange foreign city with his new friend, the mysterious and violent Raynor, as his guide. Raynor shows Jonathan the hidden world of the night, a world without rules or limits. But when the fun turns dangerous, Jonathan may find himself trapped in the dark. The question is, what will he do to get home? Night Fever is a pulse-pounding Jekyll and Hyde noir thriller, just so many buzzwords there that are great, about a man facing the darkness inside himself. The surreal thrills of Fight Club meet the suspense of the talented Mr. Ripley in this twisty, character-driven story. Some, preview art there, of course, looking glorious as ever. Another really cool looking one is Phantom Road. This is a brand new #1 written by Jeff Lemire, art by Gabriel Hernandez Walta, who did such great work on The Vision with Tom Keane, Jordi Belair on colours. So a brand new #1. Dom is a long-haul truck driver attempting to stay ahead of his tragic past. When he stops one night to assist Bertie, who has been in a massive car crash, they pull an artifact from the wreckage that throws their lives into 5th gear. Suddenly, a typical midnight run has become a frantic journey through a surreal world where Dom and Bertie find themselves the quarry of strange and impossible monsters. Mad Max meets the Sandman. I mean, this stuff just sells itself. So yeah, there's a few other new series kicking off. No One is definitely one that has my eye. This is another addition to the Massive Verse. So this is a story by Kyle Higgins and Brian Buccellato, art by Geraldo Borges. This is going to be a 10-issue miniseries that, again, as I say, part of the Massive Verse, crime and mystery, superheroes, thrillers. Again, if you're on the Massive Verse, it is getting bigger and it can maybe be a little hard to keep up with, but there's a lot of great stuff there. Some fantastic trades solicited here as well. We got Creepshow Volume 1, we got Dark Ride Volume 1, Dead Lucky Volume 1. They're doing a deluxe edition for the Department of Truth, Volume 1, The Complete Conspiracy. This covers issues 1 to 17. We got Kaya hitting trade paperback as well. We got The Scumbag getting a complete deluxe edition, oversized. Most importantly, we have the final book of Deadly Class deluxe edition coming out, book 4, Kids Will Be Skeletons. So yeah, just tons of really good stuff coming from Image. And again, come into the store, have a look through and get a really good look at it. We move from there and on to Boom. So let's see what we've got with Boom. We got the end of Berserker this month. Seems they've been going on for years at this point, but it's issue 12 of 12. So no doubt a rather nice hardcover or trade paperback collection that will follow. We got the Briar hitting trade paperback, Christopher Campbell. This is his take on Sleeping Beauty. Not Getting Her Happily Ever After. It's been a really good book actually so far. I've been reading that myself. Faithless, which is an adult thriller by Brian Azzarello, is getting a deluxe edition, which is going to collect a few of the books together. It has 500 pages worth. There is also a deluxe limited slipcase edition if you want to be a Mr. Fancy Pants. But we move on from there and on to Dark Horse, and this is another big one for me in that it's a new Scott Snyder one hitting print. This was part of the Scottober promotion a few years back, not last year, but the year before, on Comixology, where he teamed up with loads of great artists to tell really cool original stories. And with this one, he teamed up with Francis Manapul. So it's called Clear. Again, it's going to be a 3-issuer, oversized issues each time, 56 pages. So Scott Snyder writing, Francis Manapul on art. In the not-too-distant future, mankind no longer sees the world as it truly is. The invention of neurological filters have made it so one can view reality however they choose. Old Hollywood monochrome, zombie apocalypse, anime, the possibilities are endless. Neo Shama's Sand Dunes is one of only a handful who chose to live without a filter. When the death of an old flame reveals foul play, Dunes is set on a wild and twisting mystery that will take him from the city's deadly underworld to the even deadlier heights of wealth and power. So in terms of a single issue recommendation this month, certainly from the indie books, that is definitely top of my list, and the art on it is absolutely fantastic. We move from there on to Titan Comics and Jamie Lee Curtis writing a graphic novel, which is a bit random, but I thought it was worth pointing out. Art looks pretty cool on it from Carl Stevens. Discovered the debut graphic novel from Hollywood horror legend Jamie Lee Curtis and filmmaker Russell Goldman. After witnessing her father die in mysterious circumstances on one of the Cobalt Corporation's experimental oil extraction projects, Nova Terrell has grown up to despise the seemingly benevolent company relied upon by the town of Catch Creek in New Mexico. The rebellious Nova wages a campaign of sabotage against the oil giant until one night she accidentally makes a terrifying discovery about the true nature of Mother Nature Project and a threat that could destroy the entire town. So again, this is a original hardcover, 156 pages, Mother Nature. Move from there and on to AWA, and again, it's always been a comic label that I just absolutely love. I love the stuff that they publish. So we got a new one called Red Zone, 4 issues, written by Cullen Bunn, Mike Deodato Jr. On art. Randall Crane, an unassuming American professor of Russian and Slavic studies at NYU, is called in by the US government for a secret international mission back to Russia, where his long-buried secrets come to light. When his support team of commandos is ambushed and killed, it's up to Randall to fight his way out of Russia using his particular set of skills. Always sounds fun. And then just a couple to finish off with. First of all, from Mad Cave Studios, there was 2 that caught my eye. One called Hunt, Kill, Repeat, which is described as Kill Bill meets Clash of the Titans, which just sounds great to me. When the Greek gods invade Earth, society is quickly forced to comply with their new rulers. However, one god, Artemis, rejects her brethren's ideology and has found solace in the love of a mortal. When she is called to Olympus to answer for her betrayal, the gods strip away her godly powers and leave her for dead. Now, 10 years later, Artemis is on a quest for revenge to confront her father Zeus for taking away everything she ever loved. Fantastic looking art on that. That's written by Mark London and drawn by Francesco Arcidiacono. And then the other one from Mad Cave is one called Don't Spit in the Wind. The art for this looks fantastic. One man's trash is another man's living. Since Earth became inhospitable, humanity escaped ages ago to live in a space station floating above the atmosphere. Now Travis and his crew of garbage men are tasked with cleaning up mountains of toxic waste, working for a company called Atomic Brothers Inc. to create a clear world. But when one of Travis's crew members goes missing near an old nuclear facility, Travis's job becomes a bit more complicated. So yeah, brand new single issue series there from Mad Cave, Don't Spit in the Wind. And then I'll finish off with The Nasty #1. So this is from Vault Comics. Always going to be recommending this because it's written by John Lees. Of course, he's done Sync, he's done Crimson Cage, he's done some great stuff. And drawn by George Cambadis. Calling all scary movie fans. Scotland, 1994. 18-year-old Thumper Connell still has an imaginary friend. The mass killer from his favourite slasher film. Thumper is obsessed with horror and always has been. He fills his time with scary VHS rentals and hanging out with his fellow fans of the Murder Club. But everything changes when his local video shop acquires one of the notorious films known as Video Nasties. Films so scary they're banned and burned. It's only a movie though, right? It's all just imaginary, isn't it? A story about the perception of evil, the power of genre, the love of fandom, the need to create art, and crap your pants terror. So, yes please, sign me up. So yeah, that is a jaunt through the January previews books. Again, most titles due in March of this year. 1 or 2 are slight advance solicits, certainly with graphics and so forth. So again, anything that appeals to you, either get in touch with the store. Obviously find our new Facebook page, which will be the only one that gets updated. The previous one I've spoken at length, well, unfortunately is lost to us forever. Drop us an email, coffeeandheroes@hotmail.com. Call into the store, get in touch whatever way suits. Instagram, Twitter, and let us know if there's any changes or any pull lists you'd like set up. But again, these books are always in store, so if you ever find yourself in town, half an hour to fill, pop around to us and have we read through. And again, you might see something there that I didn't. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this, guys. I hope it proves useful for you. As I say, I do plan on it being a monthly series and keeping you guys up to date. So, I hope you're keeping safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you in store soon. So, take it easy.